Hi, everyone. My name is Buzz Wallach. I am a producer and director here in Los Angeles, and I am currently sitting with Don Opper
Hello.
and Barry Opper,
Hi.
star and producer of Critters, respectively. And yeah, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna watch the movie with you guys, and Barry and Don are gonna tell us all their wonderful memories about about working on this film.
Whatever we can remember.
Well, firstly, Barry, how did you guys get this script and get it to New Line and get New Line to give you money for it?
Well, it's a long story. I'll tell as shortly as I can.
I think we got 90 minutes. You go
Yeah.
for it.
No, I mean we had done a movie, our first movie with Roger Corman called Android.
Which Don, you're the star of, right?
Don wrote
Yes.
with Jim Riegel and starred in that movie with Klaus Kinski, and so it became a kind of cult hit, festival cult hit. So we had some cachet, and one of our assistant editors brought us this script called Critters. His name was Steve Herrick, and he was partnered writing it with Brian Muir. And they brought us this script, and Rupert and myself, who we partnered in Android, producing Android, said, "Oh, well, this is a pretty good script. We'll try to get it financed." And the first place we went was to Roger Corman, who was interested. And on one evening, we had happened to call Bob Shea at New Line because we thought he had called us to find out if we had anything he might be interested in. And so we went to see him at Chateau Marmont and pitched Critters, even
That's
though
the French. That's the French pronunciation.
Yes, it is. It is. And we pitched Critters, although we thought we had a deal with Roger. And Bob said, "I'll write up paper if you'll sign with us tomorrow morning. We'll do Critters." And one of
Wow.
our stipulations was that the assistant editor, Steve Herrick, would direct. And he said yes. And all of a sudden, all in my life, all good things happen overnight. They don't happen like 6 months to do a deal. This all happened very quickly, and we got to do Critters. So that's pretty much how it fell together. And Don had some was his role in Android was really a wonderful role, and Charlie McFadden was ideal, and he added to the part through the course of 4 movies.
Yeah, yeah. Don, how long has it been since you've seen this movie?
Eons. I have no idea. I remember. Yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly when.
You did some uncredited writing on it, didn't you?
Evidently. Yes, evidently I did. I think that was just in my function as part of the company that I did some rewriting, and Barry might remember better.
Yeah, out of Android, we formed a company called Show Films. And Don and the director of Android, Aaron, were part of that company. So we just opened an office on Sunset Boulevard, and we didn't really know that we were even going to get a second movie. So as we were getting ready to do this movie, we needed some scenes rewritten, and Don did the work.
Good work, Don.
Thank you very much. I couldn't tell you which words were mine, but
It's a beautiful, beautiful starscape there. Well, we just saw a whole bunch of really cool special effects in that last scene. How did you guys get the Kyoto brothers involved? I mean, or did they do those effects with the bounty hunters?
Actually, the effects, the spaceship effects, were done by the same people who did Android with us, Julia Gibson, over at Roger's studio.
They're all miniatures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking over it, but all the casting and whatnot. But you guys got a stellar cast for a movie of this size. And you have Dee Wallace, you have Terrence Mann.
Yeah, it's
And the Kyoto brothers, obviously.
Well, the Kyoto brothers were
And a Newman.
and one of the
Unbelievable.
Newmans as well. So it's we were really lucky, but we got response. I mean, Terry Mann had just been in Cats on Broadway. He played Rum Tum Tiger, and he was known on stage in Broadway for a number of years. But the guy who wrote the song that the
Power of the Night.
Power of the Night was Richie Vedder, who had Don and I were part of a theater group years ago. Richie was the guitar player for the theater group. So Richie brought us Terry, and sort of that's the way we got people. Someone would bring us to someone else. And Dee Wallace, we went through an agent. There was no special. She responded pretty instantly, very well to the script.
I mean, if there was a mom in the 80s in a script, Dee Wallace was perfect for it.
And she was terrific to work with from the very beginning.
She's lovely. Now, where was this house location at?
Actually, we built the house. We were out in Santa Clarita. We were not far from Magic Mountain. And not to give anything away in this movie, we built the house and we blew it up there.
I think if people are watching this without knowing what the ending is, they probably screwed up in the first place and they deserve the spoilers.
Right. I would believe so. But yep.
Is that true that all of these shots were inside the house that was built? Is that correct?
Yes.
Even that basement?
Even the basement was constructed.
It's movie magic, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, there was no back to this house,
Yes, I remember.
but there was a stairway up, and from the front, it looked like a whole house.
Now, you don't have a producer credit on this, Barry, even though you were one of the producers, and you made a deal with Rupert, right?
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing, so we decided he would produce the first one, and I would produce the second one, and but we were both there the entire time for the whole shoot. And in retrospect, I'm sorry we made that deal, but we did make the deal. So that's what Rupert was on this one. I was on the second one, and as a matter of fact, I was going to produce along with Donnie our next film called Slam Dance. But everything shifted in terms of the way we were working together.
Don, do you remember being here for any of these scenes with the family, or were you on set for a lot of it, or just when your scenes were up?
I think mostly, yeah. Once the acting part started, I just sort of became an actor, which meant I rarely was there for stuff that I was not part of. And I don't think that was. I might have just been lazy. But
now this, of course, is
that's a pretty
location.
famous location.
Where is that location?
At Eagle Rock, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in Eagle Rock, California. It's still there, and I think now it's a police museum, isn't it?
Yes.
It's on Fig there. Or
So, and this is Lynn Shea, who is the sister of Bob Shea, who it wasn't a deal we made. That didn't get us the picture. But Lynn was an actress who we'd seen work that we liked a lot. So
She's great.
She was perfect. And, of course, Emmett Walsh.
Hey, there you are, Don.
Yep. Yep.
In jail where he belongs.
Where was this jail set?
In same place.
Same place. Oh, you guys just shot it at the.
Yeah,
place?
this is at that jail. It was a little local jail.
Now, what are you actually drinking in that bottle? What props put in there?
Water and tea, I think. I'm not, I don't. I'm not method.
So how do you get there as an actor to play a guy with probably an extreme hangover?
I don't know if I was playing that hangover. I think.
And what was it like working with Emmett Walsh?
It was okay. He's, he was. Is he alive still?
Barely.
I'm not sure. He's alive?
Yeah, he's like in his late 90s.
He could be thorny.
Yeah, he was a lot bigger star than we probably had any right at the time.
Yeah.
He had done Blood Simple, I think, just before this.
Yeah, he had just done Blood Simple. This guy, I just recently was watching Better Call Saul, and
Yeah, he's still working.
yeah, I was like, he's the judge. I was like trying to remember where I knew him from, and it suddenly hit me it was the guy from Critters. So this is all that same location there in Eagle?
Yes.
How early was this in the schedule?
Barry, I don't know.
I don't remember the order that we shot. I think we did these toward the end of the schedule.
Is that true?
I think we went. I think we started out at the farm.
Dug
Really?
in, and then jumped around.
Yeah, is my recollection.
Oh, more
But there are
miniatures.
probably any number of Critters fans out there that will know differently.
Have every call sheet saved.
You do?
No, I'm just
Oh.
saying Critters fan.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a big Critters fan, but I don't have every call
I
sheet.
can dig them up actually, but
I love all of the effects done here in the spaceship, just to, all these little things that make it this living world.
It's so,
How'd the glowing work? How'd you guys pull that off?
well, that's all. That's all done
Post?
post. They were just in white face,
These-
in that
or
ND
green face.
The greens had it.
Oh, the green is added.
We're about to get touched by Power of the Night.
Right, we are touched now. I saw in our credits on IMDb that Adolf Hitler was credited in our movie. Did you see him just
Yeah,
now?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
There
There
he
was
is.
Power of the Night.
Is that actually Terrence singing?
Yes. Oh yeah, his voice is.
No, he's got a great voice. I just
Some-
didn't know if.
Yeah, no. We shot this as a video, separate from the shoot.
I wish I could find a copy of the full video by itself, so we could put it on the Blu-ray.
I maybe could find one, and
This is also a great effect. So were you there on set when they were doing all these effects? Did you like being there, seeing how the effects were done, or is it just kind of
Oh,
like go off and do your thing?
well, yeah, because I also knew most of the people in charge of them from Android, so we were all working together on how to do this section. It did come together terrifically for, Steve, who directed this movie, went on to direct Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure afterwards,
Yeah.
and they had to do some interesting effects in that one as well. So.
I think until just recently, I had that head, Terrence Mann's head, in a drawer in my house.
What happened to
and
it?
plaster. I might still be there. I have to look. I don't know if I threw his out and kept mine, or threw them both out. Or
Yeah, because this all happens to you later on.
It's remarkable how young everybody is.
yep.
So this was in Santa Clarita. We built that house
And the barn.
and the barn. Basically, it was built to fit the movie. There was nothing extra. If there was another scene added at the last minute, we'd have no place to shoot it.
Now, Don, you and Scott have such great chemistry in this movie. Were you guys, tight on set?
I wouldn't say tight, but I liked him. He was a good kid.
Did you see that, Charlie? That was the best one we ever did.
Yeah, that was real good.
Homemade, best in the state.
Yeah, I liked him. He was a
Did you guys practice slingshotting together?
not that I recall. Not that I recall.
Yeah, it's the movies.
Yeah.
Hey, man, Daniel Day-Lewis goes and lives out in the woods for 7 months. you know?
I know that's special.
I'd do that too if I was getting paid what he got paid. I would have gone and lived out on the farm, or
Yeah. There's also a great relationship between you and Billy Green Bush here. Did you
I
guys-
liked him too. He also was a nice guy. I remember.
Yeah, they really made you look hungover.
Yeah, I don't think I really was. Could be. I could have blacked out and not remembered, but I'm pretty sure that I was sober.
And here comes one of the first connections to the film Titanic
Yes.
from the Critters franchise.
Well, interestingly, because the person who did visual effects was also involved with Titanic, Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Russell Carpenter, I believe, was
Well,
he
he
was an
did-
operator, right, on this?
No, actually, well,
Was he-
Russell,
I know he was the DP on two.
Still photographer on this one, and then he was the DP on two.
Okay.
Russell's work as a still photographer was incredible.
I didn't know he did still photography on the first
Yeah,
one.
the
Okay.
guy who shot this one is Tim Surstedt.
Yeah.
And well, there's another connection.
Tim work on Titanic?
No, his wife
Did the costumes.
did the costumes for
Oh my God.
Titanic. I think she won the award,
I'm
the
pretty
Academy Award for that.
Yeah.
Well, Russell won the Academy Award, and also Mark Ulano did the sound on this, and Mark won Academy Award for Titanic.
What is with all these Titanic
Well,
connections?
we won in Critters 3. We won an Academy Award later for Leonardo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all us. It's all our doing.
Yeah. Critters is the source of the most successful film of all time. Well, I guess Avatar now is, but
Yeah.
Well, she was on Avatar too. She did.
Costume,
Debbie
wardrobe.
did costumes for Avatar too.
I think I'll stand on the Fifth Amendment.
This is not a democracy. Did you or didn't you?
such a classic family debate.
Good old Charlie.
Charlie is he's such a likable character. I mean, it's really interesting because I know you guys didn't really plan for Charlie to sort of be this, through line character through all four, but he, when you watch them all together now, Charlie really is the heart and soul of all four films.
Well, I have to say that I'll say it in front of my brother. From the moment Don walked on stage, he had this capacity for breaking hearts, which, if you look at almost all of his roles, not only in Critters, but in Android 2, I'm sorry I'm saying it in front of you, Don, but he's made me laugh and cry probably more than any other human being in film. So
Well.
I'm a fan.
As am I. He's a tragic character actor. It works great. Sorry, Don, we're just like talking about you. You're
Yeah.
sitting right here.
Yeah, thank you. I have. I'm outside this.
Now, I just saw that cat there. They say in film, never work with animals or kids. And you guys have an abundance of that and special effects.
Well, the Critters were as hard to wrangle as that cat was.
Oh, way worse. Way worse
Um,
than that cat.
oh, yeah, Billy Zane, Titanic. That's what started the conversation.
Yeah, Billy
right?
Zane. Yeah. Who let Billy Zane on the set with that ponytail?
This was cool those days. This is
What year is this?
1980.
85, right? When you guys shot it? It came out in 86.
I believe.
Well, yeah, that's the
yes.
80s.
Yeah, it
That's
was
an 80s haircut.
It was 85.
Now, they go straight to the barn,
Yes.
and they just make out for like 4 hours?
Yes. Yes. We got away with it. You're the first one that asked that question.
Why do you say that? Why do you say they've made out for 4 hours?
Oh, there's a
Because-
lot of stuff that happens before, they get attacked later. And it's, I think, like 4 hours later. I don't know.
well, but maybe they weren't making out the entire time.
Yeah, they were
Did
looking
you
at
ever
the
think of that?
stars.
They looked at the stars.
And
They talked
and
about.
he was helping her with her math homework.
That's right, her math homework, and then they had a philosophy discussion about matter link.
I love the set design here in Scott Grimes' room. It's because it's such a...
Oh, see, they don't go straight to the barn.
Oh,
They
Where
go
they
for
go?
a ride first.
Oh. Or are they just parking it behind?
No,
the barn?
they're pretending they're going for
Oh,
a
I
ride.
see. I get it.
And watch, we'll see him sneak into the barn.
Oh, yeah.
But Scott knows.
April.
You want your car keys back, don't you?
Pick up a hint there, dude.
Well, he's been reluctant this whole time. She's the leader here.
It's true. He's all, Billy Green Bush is also terrifying, so it makes sense.
See, Scott knows everything.
What was casting Billy Zane? How'd that come about? He was fairly new. This is one of his very first films.
Yeah, I mean, he read with other people, so it wasn't a slam dunk. But Elizabeth, who was our casting director, knew that he was going somewhere.
Something happened to Elizabeth?
Lustig?
No. Okay. I'm confusing her with someone else.
Now, this was all shot second unit, right? Everything, or was it just the attack stuff? Second.
Just
unit?
the attack stuff.
Gotcha.
And much of the attack stuff was Steve. He didn't want to let go.
Yeah. By no Mark.
Which
Mark
you
Helfig.
understand, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Mark was a capable director. But once again, when you're making a low-budget movie, you are discovering a lot of talent. I mean, you're able to look at somebody's reel or their resume and say this person knows what they're doing. But you're making guesses because they don't have a body of work that necessarily will prove that they're as good as you think they might be.
Well, Tim we knew from Android.
Yeah, Tim, the DP, had shot Android for us, and we'd worked with him at New Line before. So, I mean, at New World before.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's one of the things that when people can do such great work on such a small, limited budget, you go, oh, what can they do with a bigger budget, and you really kind of get to test the waters perfectly.
Right, and I mean, Russell Carpenter, who was shooting stills on this and doing some second camera stuff, but he had done one movie before, and we gave him the job on Critters 2 just because we thought his work was great, but he hadn't attained stardom.
Yeah, no, he was still beginning stages. Now, okay, you guys built this whole thing. Was it safe to walk on like that?
This was a time when you didn't ask those questions, but yeah, our presumption. I mean, I think
It was pretty sturdy.
Yeah, the art director's name was Greg Fonseca, I think, Fonseca, and he was. We had an incredible construction crew. They were people who knew what they were doing.
And another miniature. What's that moon made out of?
That's
It's just plaster?
yeah, that's a cutout actually. But this was all done in Venice at Roger Corman's
The special effects.
special effects house.
Yeah. Now this clip is used in 2, 3, and 4 as previously on Critters, I believe.
Right.
It's a literal spit take, Don.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're such good. One of the things you talked about, Don, when we did the interview was you really studied Chapman and other physical, body movements. for
Buster
your
Keaton.
performance. Buster Keaton, that's right. And you really see it when you're watching the film.
Well, good, because that was a Keaton kind of move.
Yeah, with the
Kind of move. Not,
I love Dee Wallace just watching Power of the Night downstairs.
Yeah, it's really we only had access to that one video, so we we used it a lot.
And Hitler videos,
Yeah.
apparently.
Well, those were even
Public
public
domain.
Yeah. Not into it.
That's from our movie City Limits.
Oh, really? That's your guy? Oh, okay.
That's
And
Mark. That's what's his name?
Mark. You had his first name right, but I forgot his last name. But anyway, we knew him from New World. He had a talk show, so we got all that footage.
I follow him on Facebook now. I can't remember his last name. Pritchard.
Mark Pritchard.
Mark Pritchard. Got it. Now, that's still a miniature just superimposed, right? Onto a.
Yes.
Was this all just shake the camera and a couple of props, or was
Right.
it?
The majority of the effects that you wonder about are in-camera effects. In fact, we'll see later on the creatures, the red eyes it's in-camera
Yeah, they did a beam
diopters.
splitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Particularly with everything you see in CGI now, it's kind of refreshing to see in-camera effects.
Hey, what happened to David Newman? Because the music's pretty good in this movie.
It's one of my favorite soundtracks. I have the vinyl. Newman is he's still working.
Yeah,
the
Newman brothers are.
I mean, there's a billion Newmans.
Yeah.
David did. I mean, he's done a lot of great movies. Another one he did that I love is Serenity.
Right.
But he just did the Hollywood Bowl. He did Jaws, conducted Jaws. You watch the movie and they do a live orchestra of the soundtrack. The Ghostbusters bowling pin costume. What are you going to do in Kansas? You join the bowling team.
Yeah, so everything.
That's all fake.
That's
You guys
all
just all built
created.
that on
We-
this one
we
property.
created that.
Now, this area they're about to go to, actually, I want to ask you. So we interviewed Corey Burton, who's a voice actor, and he came up with the whole language for the Crites. What made you guys decide you wanted to go that route and like actually have somebody do all this and not just like hire a random Walla Walla group?
Well, I mean, I have to say that the thought that went into the critters, not only with the Kyoto brothers, but the language that they spoke, in retrospect, it was terrific. I mean, that language, it works so well for the critters. So
it breathes life into what are inanimate objects, and it makes them real within the atmosphere of the film.
So I'd have to say in post was where we discovered it, and Steve Herrick had very strong ideas about the way we should go, and Rupert and I often would, but I think it's one of the things I'm most proud of because we set the critters are so distinctive, and part of it is because of the way they talk.
Is that real? Or is that fake? Fake ox.
It's fake.
It's a good effect. Was this just shot like right behind where you guys had built
Yes,
the house?
this is all in Santa Clarita,
Yeah.
These are all
Valencia area.
California scrub oak.
How cold was it at night? Because Santa Clarita gets chilly during the fall and winter.
Critters 2, I remember.
Despite popular belief of California being warm
we were
all the
shooting approaching Christmas time, and I remember Don and I would walk on the streets of the village we built in Critters 2, and we'd be freezing. So it was really cold then. I think this would get cold, but not like Critters 2. Critters 2 was bitter cold.
This is the same location as where Charlie saw the ship, right? Looks like
Yes.
same little
because-
hill and everything.
Over.
Not tonight, Jeff. Not ever. Over.
The bowling balls. So the Kyotos told me that they basically just half of their job was trying to figure out how to get those balls to roll the right way.
Yeah, and once again, the things that look carefully planned were, I mean, sometimes they just stood at the top of the hill and we
Through them.
and threw them, and we just have to look for the best footage that sold it because it's so simple.
First attack sequence. Now, did Herrick do this one, or did Mark Helfig, second unit, do it?
Herrick did it.
Herrick did this one.
Anything with, almost everything with actors, Steve did.
And there he goes. The editing is fantastic,
cut.
too.
That's a good cut.
Yeah, Larry Bach, phenomenal editor.
Right. Larry is somebody that also we knew from Roger Corman's Place. And Steve, of course, had been an assistant editor before he directed this. So he had a sense for editing as well.
I think that was written in the script, that cut.
I believe you're right.
It's still a really great cut. Oh,
Yeah,
this
it's
is
a
where
great cut.
We're about to see the red eyes.
And one of the things the Kyotos always said is shoot these guys at night. Shoot them at night. Don't shoot them in the daylight.
Yeah. You're right. I don't think there is no daytime stuff with the Crites in the first one.
Just wouldn't hold up if it was during the day. Nighttime it works, right?
Yeah. Well, just because they're more ominous, and you know their eyes are scarier.
Yeah. 2 is where most of the daytime stuff happens.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. I do love this effect. And that lighting shot is great, too. Well, speaking of the Kyotos, how'd you guys get them involved?
You know, I have to take the Fifth Amendment. No, I actually don't remember, and I asked Rupert. We don't remember what brought him in for the first time, but it was probably one of the either luckiest or smartest decisions we've made in terms of making the 4 movies, because they were they loved these guys and were totally committed to making them work.
Yeah, they treat the Crites like they're their children, and their personality bleeds into the puppeteering.
Yeah, and you know they were hands-on. They didn't have puppeteers, but they were their own puppeteers. And I still talk to Ed Kyoto quite a bit, and but I can't remember how we found them, what brought them in. I know we talked to other creature effects people, and they hadn't done Killer Clowns yet.
Yeah, they did Killer Clowns at the same time they were doing 2, I believe.
So I don't know what we had to look of their work, you know, to judge, but it sure was a good decision.
Yeah.
Maybe just a lucky decision, but nevertheless.
You guys really utilize the hell out of this field and that's Santa Clarita property, because it seems like you're all over the place in Kansas when it's. I'm assuming it's only 10 acres or something.
Yeah, it was within dry.
Have you ever been out there?
Santa Clarita?
No, out where, yeah.
No,
where
I've
the
never been able to
ranches
find
are
this
and all-
location. I would love to find it.
You know, there's thousands of movies have been shot out
Yeah,
there.
I've shot many movies
Oh.
up there.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated with the utilizing of a location to make it look like it's 10 others.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
after MASH used the way to Ventura as Vietnam, I think you could get
No,
away
Korea.
I mean, Korea, you could get away with anything.
Well, on a budget of this size, you have to be able to
Cheat
mush
it.
things together and cheat. Yeah,
Famous.
horror movie trope.
Yeah.
Another trope.
Lights go out.
Mother
doesn't
hugs. Mother hugs son. And now Dad
Now
goes
walk into the basement.
Yeah, yeah. Because Dad has to do it.
See, when I was a kid, this is the scene that scared the ever living daylights out of me.
Of course.
This is by far the scariest scene in the whole movie to me, just because it's the first time you see the Crites, and it's so well built up with the suspense, because as he's just scanning with the flashlight.
Uh-oh.
What?
What the heck?
Wait, you guys built the basement too?
Yeah.
It's just well dressed.
Yeah,
It's tiny.
Yeah, was it like a closet?
I'm not sure.
Because you're right, it's not that big, but
Yeah.
it looks like it's bigger than it actually is. Let's see. So did you guys just have one of the Kyotos right there hiding
Yep.
behind that bookshelf?
There he is.
Who did the majority of the puppeteering? Was it Steven?
Charlie Steve and Charlie did the majority of it. I don't know if you've met.
Yeah,
ever met Chuck-
we interviewed all three of them. I
But,
know
you
Ed's more
but
the
Linda,
business guy.
Linda was also there all the time. Linda Kyoto.
The first of many stuffed animal deaths in this movie.
Yeah,
You guys hated stuffed animals.
yeah. Well, I have to. The bedroom scene, that's a little later. The destruction.
Uh-oh.
Now, was this one of the first effects stuff you guys did, or was there other effects things you guys did before you shot this one? Because this one's obviously pretty big, so.
I think my recollection is that we pretty much proceeded at the farm
In order.
pretty much in order.
Did everything go according to plan when you guys were shooting this?
We finished remarkably well on schedule.
I mean, this scene in particular, like just because it's one of the first big effects.
Yeah, that's a good
yeah.
scene. Oh, no.
Those darts. It's remarkably gory too for like a family horror film. Yeah, I was just curious because when you're dealing with so many special effects and whatnot, like things can go wrong. Did that happen? On this one?
I can't remember. I mean, I think in the interview phase, I related one thing that the first day of shooting, the first morning, I was walking up the hill toward the house, and the first camera assistant was walking down the hill with a mag on his shoulder, a film mag, and it dropped off his shoulder by mistake, opened up, and the film rolled down, and the reel landed at my feet, and the film trailed up the hill, exposed, useless, and we had to, reshoot everything that was on that roll. That's the worst memory of something huge that I can remember that didn't go well.
Well, that one's not as bad as you get the Crites onto set and suddenly the puppeteering's not working and whatnot.
No, I mean, the Kyotos, as young as they were, had it down. They did not, we knew we'd have to wait for creature effects.
Yeah.
So, but nothing surprised us. Nothing that I can remember went seriously wrong.
What's his name? The guy on the right.
Hey, give me 1 second and I'll look that up.
Because he does a really good job
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, of being doing the Starman thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a character actor. He's
Yes.
still working to this day.
Yes, and I see him all the time.
Oh, poor Billy Greenbush. Ethan Phillips.
That's
it.
right.
Ethan, yeah.
So this is why I brought up Billy Zane and Nadine. They've been making out for at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours
That's
now, right?
true,
Yeah.
yeah. That's true. Well,
Not even
That's
the
right.
outer shirt's off.
Well, but wait a minute. They're teenagers.
so you're you're
I got a teenager at home.
yeah.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, I saw on the tape it said Herrick something. Now the second year director told me that one of the hardest parts of this whole shooting all this sequence was literally trying to aim the bowling balls at Billy Zane's stomach and him catching it.
That is correct. That was. But you know, the editing made so much of this work.
Don, did you ever want to stop in like when they were doing these big effects scenes just to see, you know, how they were handling it, or did you purely stick to your scenes?
As I remember, I don't remember standing off camera. I remember I purposely had them wake me to watch this house blow up. Not that it blows up,
Yeah, not
Not
that
if
we're
we're-
giving anything away.
yeah.
Spoiler alert.
But I remember specifically I wanted to see that because it was big. And but I don't recall hanging out and watching the other people work.
I love it. See, when you guys built this barn, you must have built a second, like a smaller level for, you know, Charlie and Steven to crawl under to do these.
I mean, we always
puppeteering.
had that in mind. Yes.
Yeah.
For which?
For this
Like,
right here.
yeah.
'cause there's a-
Oh yeah, yeah,
So that was an elevated. That was an elevated part.
yeah. Yeah, the sets are good.
No, it's incredibly impressive just knowing.
It was impressive. I remember I was when I went out there. I don't think it was finished yet, but I remember when I went out there.
I didn't realize most of your scenes, Don, are at this police station.
A lot of them, yeah.
Your poor teeth. How was Lynn? Working with Lynn.
She's great. I actually, yeah, we worked together on a couple of things, I think.
Well,
And
Critters too.
Yeah, but other times I've run into her on sets, and she's super nice.
She's one of the loveliest human beings. She's so sweet, and she's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right, so Barry, here's a question. What is this? Is this like why is church happening at 9 o'clock at night?
We have no idea. Well, because we didn't want to shoot the critters during the day. I told you already. You just weren't listening.
Where's this at right here? Is this also in Eagle Rock?
No, where was that? That was in that town.
Yeah, it was out in Santa Clarita someplace.
Oh, like Newhall or
Yeah.
Valencia?
I think that was one of the harder. Come on, now that's a really hard
Yeah.
effect right there.
How'd you guys pull that off?
Well, they just ran into a.
I mean, this was a little. You're seeing the storefront, the building that this was, and we built that
Facade.
outer facade.
I love the preacher. Yeah, the casting you guys got for everyone that, you know, Lee turns into. Although I don't know if he's called Lee in this one. I know they're Ugg and Lee in 2. for
Yeah,
sure.
no, they were always Ugg and Lee, but we never identified them by
But they
name.
were written in the first script, right?
Yes,
As,
yes.
But all the casting characters you guys got to play Lee, they do such a great job of doing the Jeff Bridges, you know, Starman kind of being out of their element.
Yeah, I mean, you noticed even the destruction of the organ. Steve thought to pull the woman out of frame before the organ exploded. I mean, we were careful to only eliminate the guys that we didn't mind
Yeah.
losing.
Yep.
That's Rupert.
Oh, that's it. That was Rupert's cameo? That's
Yes.
funny.
That was his Alfred Hitchcock moment.
Yes.
So that's a real building that you guys just converted into a church and then built
That-
that facade on.
Facade, yeah.
Yeah. Moving into Night of the Living Dead. You gotta love a man that just has three Winchesters right above the fireplace. Now, was Grover's Bend, was that always in the script from
Yes.
the get-go? Like, that was just the created town?
From the very beginning.
I've always loved that because I love the fake towns in movies is always such a fun thing, like Amity and Santa Clara from Lost Boys, things like that.
What was the name of the place in Jaws?
Amity Island.
Oh, that's Amity.
Yeah. Which is basically just Martha's Vineyard.
Right.
What's the name of the city in It's a Wonderful Life?
Oh, that's a good question. I can't remember that one.
Because I think
Well, it became Potter's Field. And
yes,
then
but I think that Steve had stolen Grover's Bend.
From It's a Wonderful Life?
it might be Grover's Bend. Uh-oh.
If I'm not mistaken.
I'm going to look that up. I used to think it was a real place. Man, it only shows up on for being a part of Critters, but it might be a reference to It's a Wonderful Life in some way.
I have some vague recollection of that. I don't know.
So is this a double truck, or did you guys, or is it just dressing? You guys didn't actually destroy it.
It's dressing. I don't even know.
Because nowadays, finding a double of a truck like that would be nigh impossible, without spending a lot of money.
Yeah, and I don't think we were anywhere near a budget to double anything.
Yeah. Hey, the big one.
They like seats
Apparently.
Apparently.
in this movie. At
Or they
least.
hate them.
Uh-oh.
All right, this is one of my favorite rolling scenes.
Yeah, because it's rolling balls. How could you guys lock the door?
They had a shot of it, the latch falling.
Again, he got bit.
Same spot,
Same
too.
shoulder.
Was that to save on special effects?
Yeah,
Okay.
they like blood. We've done I wasn't there, but a lot of the New World people, the Roger Corman people, they'd done a movie, an outer space movie, where the wound on the hero was on one shoulder, and then in the next scene it was on another shoulder. So it wound up in the movie. So we were aware that was possible.
Yeah. Now, when we talked to Dee, she said, one of the hardest things for her on any movie is she hates using guns, hates them. Did you guys have any problems with her on set when trying to get her to use the shotgun?
No, she was a real trooper.
Yeah,
she would
she's a
step
pro.
up and do anything. But she did declare her hate for guns, even then, when it wasn't fashionable. To hate
She's a new age healing person now. Some kind of. I ran into her at a convention.
at a Critters convention, right?
It was at one of those horror movie things.
Yeah, there's the language. The pin busters. It's just such a thing that's missing from most movies nowadays. It's just such a great world that Grover's Bend is a real town that's real, real living people all around and whatnot. Now, where was this? Was this a real bowling alley and
This
bar?
was a real bowling area.
This
Who's this gentleman? The bartender here.
I don't remember.
Just the guy he cast? Yeah.
I'm gonna leave it right here. Just don't bother me anymore.
Oh, poor Charlie.
I would guess he was a stunt guy
Yeah,
if I had to,
looks like one.
because we'd often cast stunt guys who wanted
to have lines.
often to have lines. Isn't this the bowling? No, it's not.
Yeah, this is the bowling alley.
No, I'm saying, where was this bowling alley? Do you remember, Don? I don't.
Well, wasn't the interior of that?
The one that we go to, you mean in Montrose?
Yeah, I guess it's not Montrose though. Montrose doesn't have.
This setup.
Yeah, this is obviously a real bowling alley.
I'm not sure where it was. Locations.
I imagine it was probably in Santa Clarita, because I don't think you guys would have strayed too far.
Yeah,
off the
I
beaten path.
always thought this was the Montrose bowling alley.
There's
my
Don's
daughter.
right there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She's a doctor now.
Well, she
And
got
that's her mom.
No.
No, it looked like Linda, but it's not.
well, does she claim that she's a doctor because she started off on Critters?
Yeah, she
No.
learned how to operate in Critters.
He's so great in this movie, Terrence Mann.
Oh, he was.
It's an easy role to just kind of not care, and he just goes for it and just gives that character so much to chew and play with. It's awesome.
Yeah, he commands your attention.
Mm-hmm. Plus that hair.
Yes.
You keep your shirt on, asshole.
Oh, this is where,
Charlie becomes.
yeah. Now, there's some split screen stuff that happens here, yeah?
Oh yes.
Yeah, so what was that like shooting, because that's really difficult as an actor.
Yeah.
You know this. I don't remember.
That's some outfit you got on.
We want the Crites.
Oh, really? Who are they? Some new team?
He must have been a stunt guy. Yeah, I would imagine all these guys probably were. Yeah, so
I don't remember if we did a split screen. I think we just had.
a double on either side.
Yeah,
We
I think-
mostly
I-
did one key shot.
Yeah, because there's. Yeah, they're all separate shots.
Well, and again, this is one of those things where you do the same thing where, I mean, that's a completely different character than Charlie, and it's all in the way you're standing and the way that performance is working.
All stunt people.
Where do you go to, like, in your head, what were you thinking about becoming Lee? Or is it just literally combing the hair?
Well, combing the hair is a big part of it, and also the suit. I mean, so I suppose if it was classic actor language, it was outside in. It's just the suit and the hair, and because it's impossible to play an alien, and I had experience with it.
Yeah.
You don't play an alien because there's nothing. Who knows what that is? So
Is that Dolly Parton next to his phone?
I think
It
is.
is, yes.
What's the story behind that?
Set dressing.
I love that. He just keeps keeps
Yeah.
a little thing of Dolly Parton next to his bed.
No, this is a terrific crew of people that worked on this movie.
Yeah, there's so many little things that just kind of add to the world and the characters. You know, and it's another thing too. Like the family actually likes each other, which is a rarity nowadays in films. You know. Aw, poor D.
A lot of pressure.
I know. He's just trying to keep the whole family together. But you guys did a great job of allowing these scenes to breathe, though. It's not just a special effects movie, you know? There's relationships and stuff going on, and you get to explore that and take the minute. Nowadays, it'd be cut.
I think that's what made the movies, popular.
You know, we haven't really talked about Nadine. What was she like working with her?
I don't remember very much about her. Do you?
Also, she was no problem whatsoever, and
Right.
and totally committed. I wish I remembered problems to talk about because they're interesting to hear about.
Yeah, problems are always interesting, obviously. But it's good to know, like, that's why this movie works so well, is that it just worked well on set. You know, not every movie needs to have a production like Jaws to be good.
Yeah,
You hate seats.
They
You're right.
hate
They do. They
the
do. They
upholstery.
hate
They go for
springs and
upholstery.
upholstery. They hate upholstery.
Aw. It's a good thing you guys did build this house because you just got to completely wreck it.
I think that was the point.
Yeah. Better than
Oh, so that was a walker.
Yeah,
yeah. The Kyoto said that was one of the hardest shots to pull off
right.
for them.
Oh, they don't like fire.
How long did it take to get that shot?
I believe. Well, I might be wrong. I think might have been a reverse.
Oh, pulling it out?
Yeah, but I'm not sure.
Here's this
Pretty-
whole little town. Yeah, the Kyotos had talked about how that walking shot of the Critt was incredibly difficult for them to do. And it's funny because it's only half a second.
Right.
Yeah,
of movie.
like
But
2
see,
seconds long.
one of the arts involved is not repeating yourself. You know, doing different ways to show they're alive, but not having a shot long enough for someone to say, "Oh, I could see how they did that."
Yeah. I love Lynn Shay and her curlers.
And earrings.
Yeah. Never take the earrings off.
I'm not reading you clear, so I'll repeat that. Over.
Reverend Miller, Charlie McFadden, and some stranger just shot up the bar at the Bowl-A-Rama Lanes. Over.
Have you
She's
heard
so
from
good.
Jeff? Over.
I can't raise him, Harv.
She's so good at just selling every single line. It's almost like an Abbott and Costello routine.
Now, also the art of filmmaking is they're in totally different locations. They were faking the other
acting-
end of the conversation.
Yeah. What is that painting there on the wall? Is that somebody's kid?
That's
Oh.
set dressing.
No, it wasn't one of our kids.
Was it?
I don't know. Could have been.
One of the art director's kids. So we're getting close to revealing that, you know, one of the Crites has gotten substantially larger. Was that always the plan in the script? Was that one of the critters was going to keep getting bigger and bigger?
It must have been because otherwise we wouldn't have had them.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's that was a bone of contention while we were talking about it. If I'm not mistaken, there were two things that Bob Shea added to the script. One was during doing prep. Bob Shea was the owner of New Line. I believe he insisted that the critters get larger to up the threat. And we, as I recall, were not in favor of that. But that came during prep, so we got to write it into the script. The second one, which was for the scene that we can't talk about yet, and we should talk about then, it was the house coming back together. That's not the way we finished the movie.
Yeah, originally it was going to be house blows up.
And the family is just in front of the blown up house. The family at least is together, so everything is good. But they've lost everything. But still, they're together. That was the way we had written. That's the way the script was written.
Let me ask you a logistical question here. You know, Scott obviously is under 18, and you're shooting all nights. How did you guys, do that with a child actor and, child labor laws and whatnot? Or was it a little easier back then?
It was easier back then,
Well, also, he was older than he looks, right? I think
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah,
that
no,
he was
he had-
over a certain age that there was a cutoff point.
Yeah,
So he could work
10
a bit
hours or something like that.
Well, I don't know about 10, but he could work more hours. And I think if I remember, it was carefully put together to keep, to limit his hours and, et cetera. Oh, here's the...
Yeah, the Kyoto's talked about this being a very difficult shot.
They're growing.
In case anybody missed that. Oh, my God, they're growing.
80-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they said they'd made this inflatable, thing that all they did was just pump air into it and it just blew up as a shadow. It was a very clever effect.
If I remember correctly, and I could be completely wrong, this part of the script, trying to figure out, okay, what weapons can we put together from a bedroom? I remember that.
as a kind of improv.
No, like on the day?
No. In the script stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hangers. I remember especially hangers and thinking about, okay, well, what the hell can we get together in a bedroom?
A bedpost. Curtain. She just grabbed a curtain rod, right?
She's got a curtain rod. He's got some kind of aerosol can with a lighter.
Yeah. So this is Brad's room, and and E.T. was the most joyous.
Now, you guys didn't know if you were going to have the rights to E.T., right? You shot it with another stuffed animal?
Right. We shot it two ways.
What was the other stuffed animal?
Very ND. It was not one that you recognized.
Yeah. Bye, E.T. I just love that they're just rocking out.
Yeah, they're a destructive bunch.
And there's the big guy.
That same hill. Getting a lot of mileage out of that. Here's another.
Come on, go! Dad's all torn up and Mom's got like a harpoon thing in her neck and they're getting bigger.
That was the trailer.
Let's go!
Yeah.
That was in every trailer.
Charlie? Where's Jeff? Hey, you're Johnny Steele.
Where?
Huh?
Where are they?
At my house. Come on, hit it.
So all that stuff of the Crites tearing up the room and whatnot, that was all second unit, I'm imagining. It was just happening concurrently with the main
Yes.
schedule.
Charlie, you know where my house is. Who are you guys?
We want the crites.
The crites?
Critters. Crites.
Name check.
You're not from around here, are you? Okay, okay. You help me, I help you.
Man, I don't know why I never noticed it before. It's literally all night until the next. It's one night.
Yeah,
You
well,
guys shot entire. How long was the shooting schedule?
I believe 20 days, and the second unit was shot concurrent.
Steven just got his arm burned off, or whoever that was. Might have been Charlie.
Yes, could have been Charlie.
That was like stop motion right there. That shot.
Yeah. Just never repeat.
Yeah, that's the goal. Always have a different effect for every piece.
Right. So leave them wondering, gee, how was that done?
Yeah.
Because you don't repeat yourself.
So did you guys fight Bob on the one crate getting bigger, or did you guys?
I think there was some discussion about it, but
Yeah.
you don't fight. I don't think.
Yeah, you don't
that
fight Bob
goes-
Shea. Yeah. But what were your reasonings for not wanting the bigger critter?
Well, we didn't think the ante had to be upped. It seemed gratuitous to us. This is my recollection. This is a long time ago.
I think it was Herrick also didn't want to get a big one. He thought it was stupid.
But yeah, Steve really did, and also we fought the ending. But ultimately, when we get to it, I'll show you. We shot a forced perspective shot with the house reconstructing. So now I've given the trick away.
So many spoilers. People are turning this commentary off.
I know. They're pissed at us.
Charlie and Johnny Steele. Who?
All right. Got to get Chewie. Now, is Chewie named after Chewbacca?
I would guess that that's where I don't know for a fact. Do you know, Don?
I don't.
Emmett Walsh.
He's going for it.
Now, I'm sure, Buzz, that you realize that when it came to Critters 2,
Yeah, you guys.
we cast Barry Corbin to play Harv. I mean, we didn't change his name or anything.
No. Again, another little small but unique effect of just that toilet bowl slowly lifting up. How did you guys do it? Was the Kyotos underneath the bathroom floor? Just
Yes.
fit just to. Oh man, it's so nuts to me. This whole house is I know it's movie magic, but it.
But it's all in the cutting, too.
Yeah.
I mean, without.
Gee, he's supposed to be using a good exterminator.
I love he thinks it's a rat and still shoots at it.
You drunk?
I hope not your take over our operation.
Charlie, put me down.
I hope you not put. What did he say? I hope you not.
I will not let you take over our
my
operation.
I hope you not take over.
I swallow my chewing tobacco.
Yeah. So when you guys replaced, was there when you guys were done shooting? There was just you guys were like, we're we're doing the sequel. You're just like, we're definitely not going to Emmett Walsh, or did you guys go to him first?
No, he didn't want to do it.
No, he. I mean,
I'm sure he didn't want to do it.
It's remarkable how many ex-Critters stars rejected us after they stepped on us on their way to fame and
That's
fortune.
right.
Yeah, Scott came back for 2.
But Scott was Scott didn't skyrocket to stardom.
Yeah.
Scott got a solid career, but he didn't skyrocket.
Uh-oh.
How did Chewie survive all of that mayhem?
Cat has many lives, as you know.
Shooting nights with kids, special effects, and a cat on a minimal budget. You guys had your work cut out for you.
Well, I think it was.
Uh-oh. Now, how'd they get the cat to do that, Bear?
Who was in the suit? Do you guys remember?
Well, I don't remember, but Buzz, what do you think? Did that up the Jeopardy they were in?
I mean, I always liked the bigger Critt.
You know,
The only thing I don't like about it, if I'm going to be honest, is that it's kind of a deleted mythology as the movies go on. You know, like
Well, isn't that
none of the
no-
other Crites get bigger in the other movies.
Right.
yeah, I think that's probably because we did. It probably resulted from us not wanting to do it in the first place. I think.
What was that thing?
Charlie?
You just move your ears.
I did.
That was interesting.
I did move my ears.
This is one of the this is all the main characters kind of in one spot here.
Mhm.
Now, had you guys been on the shoot for a long time at this point, so it was kind of
Well-
all the chemistry was really clicking?
Yeah, this was toward the end.
Yes, it had to be toward the end. Because the house was destroyed and
He really is great, Emmett Walsh.
Yeah,
he did a great job here. I remember this.
How many takes did you guys have to do of squeezing into that car?
I don't remember, but
That's really you driving, right? Like, you guys didn't have a stunt driver or anything. I'd imagine you could only afford you doing it.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. Now the question I have is, why aren't they eating her?
they're keeping her for
Yeah, they're-
posterity.
Oh,
Sa-
they're- no,
saving
no.
her.
Oh, they're saving her. She's like a takeaway lunch.
Yeah.
I see.
They need a snack. It's a long trip.
Uh-oh. What?
It's that same field, right?
Yeah, we didn't. Once we were in Santa Clarita, we didn't go far.
Did I do that stunt?
I don't think so.
Scott Grimes probably did, though.
I'm not like Tom Cruise. I didn't even do a bicycle stunt.
Oh yeah, you did it, Don. You did somersaults and everything.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Critter's Impossible.
Yeah.
I think. Yes, I believe Mike Cassidy was our stunt coordinator.
That's one of my favorite takes in the movies, right there.
Why do you say that?
He says he's going to kill her. He's going to, what?
Brad's a brave little guy.
Yep.
I love the production design of the spaceship. I know we were talking about it earlier in the movie, but it's so cool. And it is very Corman, and I mean that in the best of compliments, and just
Yeah, well,
know.
we did.
Well, I built a bunch of Corman sets.
that's right. Yeah, you were carpenter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a set carpenter.
Oh, That neck wound is gnarly looking.
Yeah.
Were you guys ever worried about the gore effects being too much and getting a?
We knew
this is PG-13, right?
Yeah, we knew we were PG-13, and we knew that language and scare were the factors that helped determine a cumulative effect. It's called.
Yeah.
And I believe we passed on our first go round in terms of PG-13, so we were happy.
That's great.
But so the one word "fuck" that was the subtitle.
Yeah,
we knew. I think you get away with
one or two.
They add up at that time. They would add up the amount of expletives.
They shouldn't even counted that one since it's subtitle and an alien saying it. See, Charlie saves the day. The first of many times.
And he does it with the alcohol. He gets rid of his alcohol.
That's right. So he's now king of sobriety.
Hey, all he has to do is comb his hair, and you'll be good.
He'll be cool again.
Now, was it stressful for you, Don, having to do all these shots in that outfit, which I'm assuming took a minute to put on, and then switching back into Charlie?
No, I don't think it was too stressful. One of these nights I was sick. I recall that.
That's never fun.
No, but
what a dick move by them, by the way.
Yeah. Now,
yes, it was. They didn't have to do that.
No,
special
they were on their
effects
way.
Rigged the house, and
Yeah.
we were supposed to get that shot before sunup. It was on the cusp of the sun coming up. By the time we woke Donnie, the whole cast and crew were sitting on the hill, looking down, and it stopped traffic and caused the police, because everybody that lived close by said there's an explosion in the neighborhood. And
it was a big explosion.
You could see it from the freeway.
They
from
rigged
the,
the entire
going
house
by.
with those
It was a
explosive
huge-
lines.
But we didn't think we were going to make it before the sun came up.
Well, especially if you're changing Don into another outfit. And it was just for the explosion, though. This stuff was probably done over.
Yeah, no. You might have had, but there must have been 5 hours that nothing was going on. Nothing was getting shot. We were waiting for the effects team to rig that house.
Listen, you wouldn't happen to have another one of them electronic gizmos like you gave to Brad there?
Charlie disappears into the night. Hey, you can't tell the sun's about to come up, but
it was.
Yeah, I've been there. You're fighting against that time, and it's so stressful.
Especially when it's a big thing.
That probably was the most nervous I've ever been on a set in my life, because I didn't think we were going to get it off. We were going to get the explosion.
Yeah, because what else would you would have had to go off, shoot something else the next day, and
all
then.
Right, so this is all added.
This is what Bob Shea wanted to add.
Yeah, this scene was not shot in the movie.
So originally it was just going to end with them crying, looking at the house?
Yeah. Now, you notice you only saw a piece of the house. This is all debris we brought in.
Yeah, it looks like a ironing board survived. Unsung hero of this movie is costume design. Did a great job tracking how dirty and smudged up they got as the movie progressed.
from shot to shot.
Yeah, 'cause that's a hard thing to do on a movie that all takes place in one night. So how'd you guys pull this off?
Well, you see it. You see the camera angle this way, and there's one there, and this stuff was shot in reverse, but there's one.
I don't even remember this.
Yeah, well, this was all added.
That
This
right
was-
there, that is really.
Yeah.
So you guys had
And
to
this is forced perspective. This was a miniature house we built.
really.
Watch this shot. Chewy's in the mailbox.
So you guys just built a miniature to
put together like
For-
yeah,
For this shot coming up. There.
that right there.
That's forced perspective.
How big was that?
It was about, I'd say, 4 feet tall. It was a pretty big miniature.
Looks great. Got to have the sequel tag.
The laughing eggs.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for sitting down and doing this.
You're welcome.
I hope people at home enjoyed watching Critters with us.
Well, you know, the first AD, which I believe was Leon Dudevoir.
Yeah, there you are. Additional scenes. You are credited.
Right.
Yeah,
Leon
Leon Dudevoir. Yeah.
Was pretty involved in setting the schedule.
You did a great job. It's a hard movie to pull off. And it's always a small miracle to be able to make a movie. It's another small miracle that the movie turns out good. And it's another small miracle that people see it and like the movie.
Yeah, well, but I mean, at that time we loved it. We had a great time. We worked our asses off, but it was so much fun to do, and then to see it all work was fantastic.
Well, and for it to be successful for New Line,
Yeah, well, this was our first time that we were going out with a studio, so it was kind of strange to just let go of the movie, and now it's in the hands of the distributor.
Sending your kid off to college, essentially.
Now, Quicksilver was
There's
Rogers
Julia.
Effects.
And Tom Gleason, remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, miniature effects.
And then Gene Warren helped us build the house.
There's Russ Carpenter.
So he was also probably second unit DP then.
Yeah,
as
he
well.
probably worked with. Well, he wasn't because Chris was director.
Oh.
So we must have sent off Russ, who was our still photographer, and said, "Hey, would you get this shot? Would you get this shot?"
K's Gourmet. Good food.
You know, we used to joke as we were making movies that what you did was, if you were working more than 3 weeks, you had to be ready to fire the caterer and put new signs on their truck and bring the same caterer back with under a new name, so the crew would believe that you were bringing new food in.
Songs published by Show Music. I'm guessing that's just a
Yes.
yeah.
It's a
Shell company you guys made.
Yeah, well, because we did own that song too, so
Power of the Night, man.
Power of the Night.
It's a great song.
Oh, Mike Cassidy.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
And we worked with Vince a lot on other movies too. One of his key stunt guys.
Bowling alley TV episode.
Yeah,
Like
that
that you
was
guys-
that was the Western that was on TV.
Yeah, Charlie was watching there in the bar.
Oh, Pat Rand was another New World person.
What did he help you guys with?
He was a friend of Steve and Brian's, so I'm not sure whether he got the archival footage. I can't really remember, but
Well, I think that's it for us, guys. So thanks for joining us.
all
Thank
right.
you.
It was fun.
That was fun.